Reglado.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well wherever you are watching from, and I hope that your family is safe and healthy. Just wanted to show you a few video clips that Rex had sent me earlier. I think I had put this away and just forgot about this. Um, Clips that he had sent me. I thought it was kind of neat just showing some of the progress after I left. Um, they never stopped working. Rex and Tonton, you see here Tonton marking out some of the posts that we need as they lay out the fence. So, as usual, for the couple of weeks after I had left to go back to the States, we had two crews working. That's almost every day they worked, unless it was raining. The guys would pitch the tent, they would come in early in the morning, and then they would meet up with Tonton, who usually came around the same time with his workers, and both teams would do what they're supposed to be doing. As you can see, I should dedicate this video to Chick Chick the Pyromaniac at Will and Chick's Aussie Farming in the Philippines, because these guys set fire to that property every day for probably 2 weeks. We set fire constantly trying to burn down and get rid of the rubbish. The thing with the Philippines is that they have no recycling, they have no rubbish pickup. A lot of the provinces have no town garbage pickup, nothing. So, what most people do is they'll dig a fire pit, they'll throw everything in there and burn everything. Um, in the smaller cities in the province, they do the same thing. They'll make a pit somewhere in the back and they burn everything. I don't know. Maybe some people will disagree with me, but there's a high rate of cancer in the Philippines. And I think that a lot of this stuff comes from, especially with the lung and breast cancer. Yes, there's a lot of smokers in the Philippines and a lot of secondhand smoke, but I tend to wonder if all of the burning that are in close proximity, especially in the cities where they don't have garbage pickup, they burn everything, all the plastic and all of the rubber products, plastic jugs. And I'm wondering if that particular practice, brings a lot of harmful chemicals to the people that burn this trash. Here, we're only burning brush, and we've got a lot of room for the smoke to travel up. And basically, Rex had told me that the smoke is good for the trees. Apparently, it either kills or drives away the bugs that are in the leaves. So, lots of burning. They have done such a nice job at this point that they were actually able to bring the kids, Rex's two kids, to come and help a little bit and also have fun and not just be stuck at home. These poor kids, like many other countries, had been locked down in COVID for approximately a year to a year and a half, by the time I went home. And they do nothing really. They just stay around the house, and if they're lucky, they do computer modules if they have, the ability to afford to buy the internet load. If not, the provinces have gone and done the learning modules where the parents pick up, the learning module for the week, and the kids do it at home. So it's nice for them to come here because it's so safe now. It's got literally it's cleared out of all the brush and high trees, enough so that we decided that we would fertilize. So as some guys did the grass cutting, you saw father there. He is fertilizing the coconut trees. And the technique for the fertilizing of the coconut trees is they basically make 3 holes underneath the canopy, probably about 3 meters away from each tree. They'll make 3 holes about 6 inches deep, and then they'll go ahead and dump about a cup to a half a cup, depending on the size of the tree, in those 3 holes and bury them, and they'll do this for every tree, including all the little ones that we planted. Now, let me remind you, we planted 243 trees, because the property is small, but there had been no care for the property in terms of maintenance and planting new trees as the old trees died. So we planted 243 trees to try to get more trees into the property and make it a little bit more denser in terms of the tree count. I felt like there was a lot of space being wasted and not utilized in this little farm. I think on this picture you're seeing the central portion of the lot, which was literally a jungle. I mean, we couldn't get through. The guys did a bang-up job, and as you're looking over this shot, you're now looking down towards the bottom of the hill and down into the property in the rear that we recovered from the resurvey. Lots of burning down here. We had literally chopped down a small jungle in this corner of the property. In fact, actually, let me rephrase that, the entire property. And so here we've cleared the slope, and the guys are planting more coconut trees. They're planting root vegetables on the side, just trying to keep some of the erosion from going any further down this hill, and also trying to utilize the slope. They've also put in sweet potatoes that'll crawl up alongside the slope, just trying to get a little bit more utility out of the property than before. Before it was just a jungle. All these little black areas that you see will be covered in green soon, because grass here grows so quickly. Should I say weeds grow here so quickly. Those are just burn spots, and what they do is they basically burn down these rubbish piles, and then as it burns down, they'll just keep stacking the unburnt stuff over the ashes and burn them again until they are down to nothing but ash. It's a great way to get rid of all the stuff that we had raked and put into piles and then, burn. Just constant burning, and it's really making a difference. This particular shot, Rex is walking towards the front of the property where there's a lot of room for planting. So the plan again is to put down mahogany trees, put down mango trees for consumption, and put down some kangkong. We talked about some lemon trees. We talked about the native calamansi trees that's going to be grown here too. It's all for just consumption. There's nothing. This is a hobby farm, and I figure while we are getting it ready for me when I retire, Rex and family can plant what they wish here, and they can harvest, things that they can use for their house. We are planting also jackfruit. Rex is growing jackfruit from seeds. It's a very succulent, sweet, great tasting, all around. I want to say it's a fruit, but it can also act like a vegetable depending on when you pick it. It can be put into soups, it can be put into stews, and then if you let it ripen, it could be eaten as a sweet fruit. It could be made into desserts. Jackfruit is an all around type of fruit tree that we're going to try to put in the farm. I am asking Rex to maybe, if we can get about 50 trees in here, that would be great.
Yan po ay lemon. Meron din pong 3 puno po yata yung lemon na yan. Ito pa. Tsaka ito medyo mataas na lemon. Ito ay papaya. Ano nga bagang puno ito? Atis. This ito po yung mga tinanim po namin. Ito San Fernando. Ito po yung tanim ni Kuya Onyo na mga kamatis. Yan, kamatis po yung may mga bakod na yan. Malapit sa buluan. Dito sa gilid, sa may bandang bakilid. Ito sa may buluan. Ito po buluan.
As Eileen is taking the videos, Father is somewhere out there in the field, I think with RJ. RJ is making the holes around the trees as Father drops in the fertilizer and covers the hole after he's done. Now, from my last count, he's got about 500 trees to do. That's about 150 old trees that are fruiting and another 240 plus that are newly planted that you can see right there. Just those small guys. They need a little boost. I think this is Rex right here making the holes for the fertilizer, and that's RJ dropping the fertilizer in the 3 holes. Again, I am always pleased and always
Ito po yung mga tinanim namin Carabao
just marvel
plants,
at how
mga buhay na
these guys
buhay.
work so
Ayan.
hard for me. Here, Rex is showing us, or I'm sorry, Eileen is showing us some of the Carabao grass that they had planted. We are trying to transplant Carabao grass from the bottom of the property to the plateau or the top of the property because I want that to grow and cover and hopefully take over instead of the weeds growing all the time. This will make it later easy to mow when we either get a ride-on mower, which is very expensive here in the Philippines, or we get a push mower, self-propelled. Doesn't matter. Just want to make sure that this Carabao grass will take hold. So we've been trying to transplant that, as we go and clean the property. From what Cheryl is
Yan po
telling
yung mga
me,
iba pa naming
sorry,
tinanim.
what Eileen is telling me is that
Mga
they have been
Papaya.
successful. There is, growth in the transplanted
Nagtuloy.
Carabao
Yung lahat po
trees.
ng may bakod puro,
Here, she's
puro
showing us
papaya.
some papayas that they had transplanted in the property,
Yan,
and we're
papaya
hoping
po
that'll
yan.
grow. Papaya is a great fruit also to have
Yung iba namatay.
as a fruit tree. It lasts, I think, about 2 years. It'll fruit as long as you have a good area for it and the
Tsaka,
winds don't damage it.
sili.
Papaya can be cooked both
Papaya
as
at
a
sili.
green vegetable in
Dito po sa
soups and
bandang
stews.
gilid.
That's a pepper plant. It can be allowed to ripen and you could eat it as a sweet fruit. A couple of things with papayas, from what I know, they're high in vitamins and I think potassium.
Palikod.
In green form, the smaller green papayas are chopped up and you could use it as a meat tenderizer.
Ang po.
It's great for meat tenderizing. Just chop it up, mix it in with the meat, leave it there for an hour, and the enzymes will soften up the meat. Here we have sweet potatoes intermixed with papaya, kangkong, which is like a
Kung may mga bakod.
vegetable that you could put in stews and soups. So they're trying to make use of the land for their personal use, and I'm just very glad for that. Other than, it had been sitting covered in jungle. So what they sow, they'll reap. And I'm always a big proponent on if you want to till the land and get what you can from the land, I will gladly support you. The fertilizing continues with Rex and RJ. This is going to be done for every tree. Now, just to go back with papayas, they're an excellent, excellent fruit to have for your personal consumption. Now, if you have more than enough, then you could sell them to the neighbors. But as a papaya, jackfruit, those are the things that I want to put in here to help, with the family. That way they can come here. You have things to pick. You have things that you can profit from. So, awesome deal. So this is the first time we are doing fertilizing of all the trees on the farm. Now, funny thing about the Philippines, fertilizer costs go up every day. With this particular time that we fertilized, we used 750 or 55 kilogram sacks total for this 1.6 hectare lot. I think the cost was about 1,450 per sack. Now, the second time we fertilized, the cost was $1,950 per sack. And now, recently, it's up to $2,100 per sack. I really don't know how the farmers, especially the rice farmers, will ever be able to keep up, because rice prices are so low compared to how much it takes to, number one, plant rice, number two, fertilize it, number three, put pesticides on it, and number four, to harvest it. It's just a lose proposition for most farmers. And the government has something to do. They need something to do in terms of stopping all of the rice, or at least limiting all of the rice from being imported from Thailand, Vietnam, and other places like China, so that the rice prices can come up a little bit to help these farmers locally. Sorry for the shaky pictures on this last clip. I think Rex or Eileen was walking as they were putting in the fertilizers. So we should see the results within 6 to 8 months. Hopefully we get better harvest in terms of numbers, bigger fruit, and then the younger trees can also get a little bit of a head start now that they don't have any jungle to compete with, plus they're being fertilized.